they got this fucking guy, right? And his name is James Pond, and he's a fish, and he's an underwater agent, and he's a fish, and he does all the swimming shit that all the fish do, but he also has like really long limbs, and they stretch out really fucking high in the air, right? And and his name is James Pond, and he's a fish, and he goes underwater. Actually, he never goes underwater because he's not a fish. He goes underwater and he starts diving for like he saves like Christmas and shit. That's what he does. That's what James Pond does. He saves Christmas. So he goes diving underwater for like penguins, and he gets them out of the water, and he gets elves out of the water too. That's what he does. That's the James Pond business module. He gets assigned that shit by the British Secret Services. That is true. You can look it up. And he just does that for like maybe a couple of years. He was never really known for it, but that's what he does. He rescues penguins and elves from the sky, and his name is Dr. Maybe, and he's an evil bad guy, and you can't trust him. You should never trust Dr. Maybe because he's a pretty bad guy. He's not really a good guy. You know, he does bad shit. He kidnaps Christmas Santa Claus, and he puts Santa Claus in his evil, what is it, like the moon? He puts him on like the moon, but the moon is made out of cheese, and James Pond has to go to the moon to save Christmas and get Santa Claus out of the moon, and to stop Dr. Maybe from destroying the moon, excavating all the cheese from the moon, and like extracting its resources and making like evil grilled cheese sandwiches. I genuinely don't remember what that one's about. But he goes to space. His frog buddy, his name doesn't matter. He's actually completely irrelevant to the story. So is his wife. James Pond has a wife, but she's also completely irrelevant to his peril, so I'm not going to talk about her here. Actually, you've never heard from me that I've talked about her wife here. But yeah, I'm telling you this because it's important that you realize what it means to be James Pond, right? Because it's a special moment, it's a special occasion for him today, and we have to be really understanding because this all happened like 30 years ago maybe. It's a little bit past his prime, right? But he's still going. He's still smooth going. You know, it's not like I mean he had a little bit of a tough time, but we gotten over that. You know, it got a little better, got a little worse, but then got a little better, right? And James Pond, what you have to understand about him is that he's been looking for you for a long time, and he would really appreciate it if you like went there, you know, and talked to him. That's why I'm telling you all this, because you need to know everything that there is to know about before you talk to him. If you do, because I don't know if he's gonna show up. He's been a little off lately. Honestly, he hasn't been that well, you know. But it's been worse. He could have been worse. But yeah, James Pond. He was hired by the British Secret Services to do a bunch of crazy shit. It was never in 3D, it was always in 2D. He never did it in 3D, it was always in 2D. He never did it in 3D because it was always in 2D. James Pond. Yeah, James Pond. He's a fish. I'm sure you knew that. He's actually supposed to be a mud skipper. If you Google images of mud skippers, they don't actually look anything like him. It's really weird. He used to be bullied for it, actually, in grade school. Because he doesn't look like any of the other mud skippers, you know, and it's weird. I mean, like, that's probably why he got accepted into the British Secret Services, is because he's a genetic freak. Not really because he's done anything of prowess, but he did save Christmas, like twice, and the moon from exploding, you know, because like Eggman was gonna do some shit on it, or Dr. Maybe or whatever. I don't give a shit, honestly, but you know, and so he's been doing that for the last like 50 years, maybe 55 years. Honestly, it's been a while, so he's been better, but he's been doing good now, you know. And I'm telling you all this because it's like, you know, you gotta know about James Pond. You gotta know about James Pond. It's really important that you know what he's about because he's a fish. He's a fish, and that's awesome. I mean, it's so cool. And he's really like he's doing shit that like no one has ever done before. It's really exciting. Like right now, he's done so many things that are just like completely fascinating. I'm always thinking about him. You know, James Pond. Instagram. He's like a fun guy. He's cool. He's great. I love talking to him. You know, when he's doing well, which he's not right now. That's why I'm talking to him, because he needs some help from you. You know, he needs some money. He's running low on money because his last game didn't do that well. You know, the one that was 67 years ago. You know, that didn't do so well. So we're asking you to just, you know, help him out. Right? I mean, it's the least you can do for me. Feel like a national hero, like James Bond, you know what I mean? But actually, he's doing really well. You know, like he could do it. Yeah, James Bond. That guy is a total nutcase. Just kidding. He's a fish. He's actually not a nutcase. He's a fish. You really got you there. You really got you there, buddy. This fish. He's really going through a lot. Actually, he's not. He's a fish, though. That is true. He's actually a fish. He's a mud skipper. He doesn't really look like one, so you wouldn't expect him to be a mud skipper, but he actually is. And he does some cool shit on his skateboard, honestly. He's been in the Olympics. Did you know that? Not the new ones, but the one in like the 80s. He was in like Olympic Games with James Bond on the Genesis, the Sega Genesis. You know the Sega Genesis? I don't think you're from that era, right? Because that shit's retro as fuck, dude. Right? James Bond is fucking retro. He sucks retro off. He goes. He's really Genesis. He's more Genesis than Sonic. People are known for saying that. You know that guy that works at Sega Genesis. The guy who works at Sega Genesis. He's always saying that. You know, and the other guys that work at Sega Genesis, they don't say it as much, but they believe it firmly. It's in the Sonic Bible that James Bond is the Sega Master System. Main console master. He actually was in the Master System. He was on the Game Gear too, and he was on the Commodore Amiga. He is the Amiga mascot. If you didn't know that, he actually was supposed to be the Amiga mascot for a couple of years, but then they killed him, so they couldn't use him as a mascot anymore. Yeah, James Bond. That guy. You can look him up on Google. It's all true what I'm saying now. Yeah. So James Bond, he's been doing good. Honestly, he retired with a lot of like a decent income. You know, he got to save Christmas twice and save the moon. You know, so he's doing good. Honestly, yeah. James Bond. I mean, we're golden with him. I'm gonna talk to him soon. I haven't spoken to him in like maybe 87 years, but last I heard he's doing good. And he's awesome. He's a fish. He's a mud skipper, and his neck stretches real high. You know, like Kale the kangaroo. Does the same thing when he's underwater. James Bond does the same thing when he's on land. He does the same thing as Kale the kangaroo does underwater. He does on land because he's a fish. And Kale the kangaroo is a kangaroo, so he does that underwater. But James Bond does it above the water, and it's really cool. He stretches really high so he can get all the powers, the little points in his video game James Bond 2, codename Robocod. And it's really cool. And one of them is a little cross, like a Jesus cross. You know the Justice album? That's it. That's what he collects in one of the games. And it's kind of crazy. I mean, like, you wouldn't expect religion to be the main theme of James Bond 2, codename Robocop, but it kind of is, because you're saving Christmas, and you're collecting little angels, and you're saving, I don't know what they're called, but they're like guys. They're like guys. What the fuck? James Bond? Hi! How are you doing, man? How are you doing? Anyways, James Bond is really cool. He got me through my marital issues, but he never spoke to me. I just Googled images of him when I was feeling bad, and he really helped me. Honestly, like I could finally speak up about my problems because he was just like looking at me really hard with those big buggly eyes of his. You know, he kind of looks like a frog. He's a fish, but he kind of looks like a frog. But he's cool though. Like he's chill. He's chill as fuck. He gave me some good advice on how to fix my car. And yeah, he's never smoked before. But he used to be a drug addict, and it was really hard for him. You know, for like a couple of years after the Kickstarter for James Bond 4 failed in like 2012, and I think that was the final blow for him. Like he was going through a little rough patch for a while. It wasn't that good, but he's gotten better. I don't know actually, because I haven't spoken to him in a while. But I've heard he's been better from his wife, who's still alive. But we don't talk about her. We don't talk about her wife. You know. His parents, I don't know if he has any, because he's a genetic mutation of a fish, right? He got bullied in high school because of that. In elementary school, his peers, they were really mean to him about it. Yeah, it was kind of fucked up, honestly, but like he got over it. And then he became James Bond's British Secret Service's agent, and he's awesome. I really like him. He's a nice guy. He always knows what to say in the face of peril. He has his catchphrase. I'm mean, I'm green, and I'm a heart machine, which is really weird that he says that. He actually does say that. But it's really weird that he says that because he's none of those things. Maybe he is part machine. We don't know that. He has his suit. But why does he say the other stuff? I never figured that out. He actually does say that. And he says that he's licensed to kill, which is really funny. It's a pun, licensed to kill, like gills, but then licensed to kill, like the James Bond reference. Because he's a James Bond reference. I don't know if you knew that, because it's like, it's not really obvious, The codename Robocop is obvious. You're like, oh, that's like Robocop. That's funny, man. But James Bond, first of all, you probably think of Pawn, right? Like the Pawn. But then you realize, wait, it rhymes with James Bond. But wait, that's really funny, honestly. And it is funny. It's fucking hilarious. It's just great. He's great. I love him. I really love that guy. He's awesome. I love that guy. I really love that guy. I really like that guy. I don't know, there's something about him, right? You look at him, his penetrating gaze, and you, understand that there's a point to it, is what I'm saying. Yeah, James Bond. That's a cool guy. Bye-bye.